Good morning. Sawete, you beautiful people, brothers and sisters, and you extraordinary creatures everywhere. The conflicts arising. These are arising, my friends, my brothers, my sisters. Listen to me, because you are following the realms of mankind. If you would follow a path set aside by Christ, exemplified by Christ the Almighty, you would not have these Israeli-Iranian conflicts, these conflicts within North America, breaking laws, and then after you break a law, you're allowed to do this, that, and the other. It's just nonsense. Then you have these groups, instead of anchoring what they are paid to do, they broaden themselves out. Why? Become renowned in what? In more conflict? That's because these are the leaders you've chosen. All right, this is the 11th incredible chapter of Leviticus. We got a lot to go through, and it's pretty marvelous. And there's some things that are going to stump us, but we'll get through them. And we begin these. We actually begin part 3 of Leviticus with 11 Leviticus. So this is part 3, and the following epistles, including number 11, they pertain to the following. They pertain to clean and unclean things with the manner of purifying, as well as more judicial and moral precepts, which we can all use, and especially the children of Israel. They need the stringent guidance, because once left without anything, they go aloof, go monstrously against Christ. So yes, you'll see why this has been executed by Christ specifically for his church. Remember this. All right, so our Lord speaks to Moses and Aaron. How about that? Not to Moses. He goes, our Lord spake to Moses and Aaron, saying, say to the children of Israel, these are the beasts which you ought to eat of the living things here on terra. Now, Elohim has been revealing his laws to Moses, yes? And then from Moses to the people, those on the Exodus train, or the Moses train, what I call it. Now Aaron is included, after being consecrated the high priest. Yet remember this, not consistently is Aaron included, because Moses remains the superior. And I tried equaling that to a pope, but not really. It's higher than a pope. There's just no word, just like there wasn't a word for Joseph. But the Egyptians gave him a word, you know. Everyone that has the hoof divided and chews the cud among cattle, you'll eat. What's cud? Do you remember? Cud is the partially digested food, and it's returned from the stomach back up through the throat to the mouth, so it can be masticated again. That is cud. Cows with the two bellies, camels, known for spitting cud. So a lot of these large mammals have the cud. However, whatsoever chews the cud and the hoof isn't divided, like the camel and others along with it, you will not eat it. It's among the unclean, and you shall repute it. Wow, this is roadblock number 1. The unclean, and you shall repute it. I can't do this by myself, so I resorted to an expert, St. Augustine. But the thing I want to get to is, all these creatures are beautiful. He made them. Why wouldn't they? So let's begin. By tradition, the first age, way back in Genesis, their man's first age, This was before Quiesce's baptismal flood. And after, by written law, some living creatures were reputed unclean and forbidden to be eaten or used in sacrifice, which is the big thing. Such creatures aren't born evil, for every creature of Quiesce is graciously good. The distinction and the prohibition was made in the Old Testament for three causes, and this is where I turn to St. Augustine. The first cause, yeah, you missed that board, huh? Instruction. To instruct the people who've been, as we verified, very prone to idolatry. Quiesce distinguished all beasts, birds, and fishes as clean or unclean, so that all will know that none is God, none is Elohim, none is Quiesce. St. Theodoret, he wrote, "For how can any man of reason think that to be God, which either he abhorreth as unclean, or offereth in sacrifice to the true God, and eateth thereof of himself?" Yes? Can't offer a calf, thinking the calf is a god, and then you eat the calf, or the calf god eats itself for the sacrifice. That right there is just logical sense. What's the second one, the second cause? Exercise of obedience. Exercise of obedience. Quiesce commanded this observance in order to exercise his people in obedience with unnecessary precepts. This exercise in obedience being similar to when Adam was commanded not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Adam's transgression brought all of us, all of mankind, not the creatures, all of mankind into misery. I guess you could say the creatures, because from that point on, the creatures became dominated by us. Before, there wasn't that. There was this exceptional harmony, which we will experience again. From all of this, Christ, by his obedience to Quiesce, to his Holy Father, to our Father, he redeemed us. It was St. Cyprian who writes brilliantly, "For observation of this law, owed Elazarus," you will learn, and his 7 brothers with their mother did give their lives. This is an incredible story, which we'll get to. Rather than they would eat swine's flesh. So one by one, they were put into this cast iron stove, and they had been emulated after a calf or something. I can't quite recall, but each child was saying, "No, I'm not going to eat this swine because of the laws of God." Then the next one, and even the mother, all 7 kids, all 7 boys, and their mother died for this faith. And Quiesce, what an incredible martyrdom story, one of our first. These are glorious martyrs. And Saint Gregory and Ambrose and Chrysostom, Gregory Gregory Nazianzen, they added that the whole church celebrating their feast the first day of August for these martyrs. For a long time to glorify what they've done but rightly so. Now the third cause is for signification. For signification. So we have instruction, exercise of obedience, and signification. This is why there's clean and unclean, why there's a distinction. Now for signification, these observations were commanded for signification of virtues to be embraced while avoiding vices, while avoiding sins. Ever hear of the adage, idle hands? Goes along the lines of this. Therefore, such beasts were holden for clean and allowed for man's food as the divided hoof and ruminate or chewing the cud or all the significant discretion between good and evil, along with diligent consideration of the law of our Lord. And the beasts, lacking those pair of properties of dividing the hoof and chewing the cud, or either or, were reputed as unclean. Hope this clarifies for you all this now. Now this signifies the type of people uncaring whether they do good or evil. You see this today. I see it every day. People following, well, Christ is in the heart, so I don't need to follow his sacrifices, and Christ is me going out fishing and talking to God. Really? This is in your mind. You are making this up. You are misled, misguided. Nothing is going to trump what's in the liturgy. It's been here for a long, long time, and the traditions that go along with it. Oh, that just makes it impeccable, yes? Also, fishes with fins and scales, if you can call this, earlier in Exodus. Fishes with fins and scales were counted as clean. Such fish signify an elevation of the mind and austerity of life. You're not going to look at a fish the same way, huh? I'll repeat this. Fish with fins and scales. Creatures in the water, I'm going to say this, being that there's mammals and reptiles, what have you. So creatures with fins and scales in the water signify an elevation of the mind and an austerity of life. Those that want either of the same were unclean and prohibited, period. Certain birds as well were deemed clean and edible, whereas others were unclean and forbidden. And when we next meet, we are going to go over these birds that are going to be listed. And we're going to cheat. We're going to start off by identifying, because some of these birds can't be identified due to the language, the translations. But I've done my best, and if you can follow, you'll be able to follow along in the account on X or the Facebook, because I'm posting the pictures of these creatures as well. All right, so until next we meet, listen to me, please. There is another way. You don't have to engage in this killing and this strife and this conflict and this annihilation of each other, always having an excuse because this person has this and we are threatened by this. This continues because this is all within the realm of Homo sapiens. Please. Pax Vobis.